Hi, today we're going to be exploring how can responsible risk-taking fuel your growth mindset. If you're ready to learn how growth mindset can rocket you towards success in all areas in your life and how learning to take risk can do that for you, stay tuned. First part of this video, we're going to be talking about exactly what do we mean by responsible risk-taking. And we're going to look at how risk-taking and growth mindset are incorporated, how they kind of come together. And we'll be talking about the beliefs that you need to have for responsible risk-taking and the importance of managing your emotions in that. And then lastly, we're going to be looking at a real-life example of people who have taken responsible risks and achieved great success. So this first part is real important to kind of talk about what we mean by responsible risk taking. And that word responsible is a challenging word to grasp our head around because lots of times in history, there have been a whole lot of people who say that's being irresponsible to people who are taking great risks. But these people who took great risks achieved great successes. You know, from a military standpoint, we often hear about the metaphors that have been used by great leaders who literally would burn the bridges behind them or burn the boats behind them as they landed on shore. No retreat, no escape, right? Many people say that's irresponsible risk taking. So getting this idea of being responsible can be challenging, right? And we come across this with goal setting as well. You know, telling a Muggsy Bogues who's 5'2" you'll never play in the NBA. Why would you even think about pursuing it? And he becomes an NBA All-Star at 5 feet 2 inches tall, right? So what is responsible is very individualistic in many regards, but inevitably there's going to be some key factors that are going to help you decide what that means to you. So risk taking is connected to growth mindset and the idea that with a growth mindset, you don't see failure, right? Everything's a life lesson. So you are pushing the envelope lots of time, getting outside your comfort zone, learning more, and getting outside your comfort zone, pushing yourself to learn more and become better is by definition risk taking, right? Every time we try to push ourselves a little bit further, that entails taking risk. Often it is emotional risk. There are, of course, people, we think about the financial risk, right? Particularly with entrepreneurship and what becomes responsible for that. And that again is going to be kind of an individualistic thing. But there have been entrepreneurs throughout history who have risked their fortunes to pursue an idea that they had for a business. I'm all in. I'm going for it, and they've lost fortunes, right? So some people would say, "Oh, that's irresponsible. You're putting your family in risk and all this other stuff," and others would say, "No, that's what you need to do." So I'm not necessarily going to get into that aspect of risk taking from a financial side, but we are going to be talking about some of the beliefs and emotional things that we need to have. So, one of the beliefs that you need to have is totally in line with a growth mindset. And that is everything you do is a life lesson. All right. So, it doesn't really matter as you push yourself outside your comfort zone and you're taking some risk. Maybe it's some uh, physical risks, emotional risks. That's a huge one for people, right? Moving, new friends, new business groups, new relationships. That can be extremely terrifying. But when you believe in yourself, when you have confidence in your own ability, when you believe that life is a lesson and you believe that it doesn't really matter what other people think because I'm secure in who I am, you are much more ready or in position to take especially emotional risks. All right. So these are, you'll see this in teenagers sometimes, that student who's just really confident. They're really secure in who they are, and they can be silly and goofy and say some things, and they take emotional risks. They step out of that comfort zone. All right, so that's an essential kind of belief, is that everything's a life lesson. It's all feedback, and that your value comes from outside of you. It's not your outcomes, right? Your value as a human being. Uh, a powerful belief is that it comes from God. You're made in the image of God. That belief will really help you feel comfortable being uncomfortable. Emotions. So probably the biggest and most important emotion to get a handle on is fear. And we have it. Risk taking, again, you're taking a risk, right? So, I mean, like, the natural inclination is to experience a little fear, a little anxiety that comes with that. Being able to let go of past fears prevents this kind of chain that's been formed in your mind and in your unconscious. That kind of gets broken away. So new fears has something harder to attach. And then being able to learn how to manage fear going forward, right? So that it's natural, again, to take a risk, to feel some fear. That's natural. It's also irrational in that the fear is based on what you are imagining. It's not like you are feeling a sudden feeling of fear because some guy's got a gun pointed at you demanding all your money, right? That would be a natural fear response. Irrational fear, the fear is totally being based on what you are imagining. Okay? So learning how to manage your emotions is crucial in developing this ability to take responsible risks. So, for all you parents out there, I do want to mention the importance of childhood play, developing responsible risk taking. For probably going back 20 years, uh, parents have become less and less comfortable letting their young children play by themselves, going out and exploring the neighborhood with friends, playing in the backyard even without having parents supervise. Playgrounds have totally changed, all in the name of safety, which is completely understandable and to a certain extent reasonable. But the impact on child development and responsible risk taking has been hugely negative. Kids are not learning by playing with themselves, getting their bumps and bruises and cuts and scrapes and all those things, emotional wounds that come with kids playing and trying to figure out how to interact with each other. By having always supervised play with lots of rules and lots of structure, has really hurt the development of responsible risk taking. So I'm just going to put that out there and really would encourage you parents to think carefully about the importance of that. Back in my generation, 6 years old, we'd go off neighborhoods. I'd walk to school. I'd walk to school with a couple neighborhood friends. I'd walk to school with my sisters. We would go to playgrounds and play by ourselves. 6 years old, 7 years old. Now I know it's a slightly different era, but have the risks really gotten worse, or is that part of our irrational fear playing in? So I'm just putting that out there, something to think about. There's some really good books, a lot of research about the importance of unstructured on organized play for children in developing responsible risk taking. So I just really felt I needed to put that out there. Let's take a look at a real life example. And again, I could use countless entrepreneurs who've taken responsible risk taking. And in many cases, some people would have said it was irresponsible because of the amount of money, of their own money, that they risked in their business. But Sarah Blakely is one who started Spanx, right? That was a totally new idea. It was a totally new kind of she helped make Spanx stylish as well, and she built this company from scratch, from nothing, and became a highly successful entrepreneur by taking huge risks, things that hadn't been done, and she became an enormously successful entrepreneur. Again, we'll see entrepreneurs. I don't even know if there's one who exists who didn't take some big risks in getting their business started, their dreams started. It almost by definition requires risk taking, and what is responsible for that? Who's to say, right? There have been an awful lot of people who lost their entire fortune trying the first time, rebounded, and still became highly successful entrepreneurs. I really encourage you to subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos there and add some comments. I'm encouraging you to give some feedback on these videos and the questions, and ask a question. Ask a question yourself in there, and that will give me some ideas for another video to do. All right, I get lots of questions asked of me, so this is one of the ways we do it. You can put a comment in as you watch some of the videos, and I will see you on the next video.